tell you about a country I love with all my heart and with all my soul. It's a special place where I feel at home most of the time. It's a place that proclaims freedom, and even though that freedom is not perfect, this country holds freedom as a true aspiration. Yes, in this country I love so much, relations between different groups of people are not great all the time, but I have hope that things will improve. I am often disturbed by this country I love because of the leaders it often chooses. It bothers me when the leader doesn't represent my values, and at the same time, I know that these people won the elections, and elections have consequences. I particularly don't like, though, the vitriolic nature of how the leaders of the country I love so much speak of their own constituents. For when a person is elected, they actually represent everyone, not just the people who voted for them. I'm also very concerned about the disproportionate influence of the ultra-religious right imposing their values on everyone else. This country I love so much pains me at times, as my Jewish values speak to the idea that majority vote doesn't mean minority discrimination. Rather, it means that majority vote rules, but also protects the minority. The nation of which I speak could do much better on this count. I hate when this country I love so much uses the justice system and other systems in the government and says those systems can't be trusted, or their claim that they can't be trusted, even though the people are good who are doing the work of that justice system or whatever the system is of that government. How do we determine justice when there's such a divide? I could go on and on telling you about what I love about this country and what concerns me about this country. The question is, of what country do I speak?
Mexico.
The truth is, this is how I feel about my home here in the United States of America. The truth is, this is how I feel about my spiritual homeland called Israel. I returned from Israel several weeks ago in a bit of a spiritual quandary, not sure what to make of all the chaos going on in Israel. In my office, there is a picture, which I'll put up right here. I love this picture right behind my couch, about the beautiful intersection of Israel and the United States of America, integrating my Jewish values and sensitivities through this picture every time I look at it. The values of freedom and of pluralism, of faith and acceptances of differences. My spiritual quandary is truly this, naive and Pollyanna as it might be. I want both countries that I love so much, that I would put my life on the line for, that I would give from my soul, to be places where we create communities of good human beings, not fighting against each other, but for each other to achieve, to have, to thrive, to be all that we can be. The United States and Israel both have a long way to go. And my spiritual quandary of being a bit dismayed with all of it has been ameliorated by my decision to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. There are always going to be issues we all have with our government and with our leaders. And we can choose to be depressed by such realities, or we can be motivated by them. When I came home from Israel, to be honest with you, I was more on the depressed side. But the more I thought about what I have done for Israel, and more importantly, what Israel has done for me over the 55 years of my life, really convinced me to be part of the solution. The exact way I think about my home here in the United States as well. I have turned my depression, that spiritual quandary, into motivated devotion to make both places the best places they can be, with all the strength I have in my heart. The great Jewish philosopher, poet, and physician from the 11th century, Yehuda Halevi, wrote these words: "My heart is in the east, and the rest of me is at the edge of the west," describing his love for Israel, his longing to be in Israel. My heart is big enough to be in the west and the east, and when problems arise, I will be part of the solution to make both places the best they can be. I hope you will join me.
As I watch the sun start to rise from my seat 5 miles in the sky, I stare into a brand new day. For you, it's already fading away. Everything that I say or I do is so much tied to you now. It's kind of funny how I adore someone I've never met before. But my heart is in the east. Leave me my peace. My heart is in the east. I wanna see the dawn of hope in your eye. I wanna brush the tears from your cheek when you cry. I wanna smell the blossoms in your hair. I wanna hear the sound of your songs in the air. I wanna taste the honey on your lips. I wanna dance with my hands wrapped round your hips. I wanna lift you up, watch you take flight. I wanna know that you found peace tonight. My heart is in the east. Leave me my peace. My heart is in the east. Vanochi v'sof ma'arav. My heart is in the east. Leave me my peace. My heart is in the east. I think about you most every day and wonder when I'll finally get the courage to say I wouldn't be the man I am without you. I couldn't see the world the same if you hadn't come true. My heart is in the east. My heart is in the east. My heart is in the east. Leave me peace. My heart is in the east. Vanochi v'sof ma'arav. My heart is in the east.
There's a story of a rabbi who was being driven by one of his students to a certain community to give a lecture. When they came to the toll plaza on the highway, the disciple directed the car toward the automatic exact change lane. The rabbi asked what the disciple was doing. "It's much faster, Rabbi," he replied, "to go through the lane with the automatic machine." The rabbi gently reproved his disciple, saying, "When you have a choice between a human being and a machine, you must always choose the human being." When I first arrived in Irvine in 2001, the first decision I made as the rabbi was to stop having the automated machine answer the temple phone. I'm very proud of that decision. Why? We need each other. We need human contact, even through the telephone. Email and text doesn't always cut it. You can't read somebody's tone. What time are services? Hey, what time are services? Same thing, but depending on the form, we don't know what the intention is. The only way to create the kind of communities or nations of which I just spoke of is to make sure each of our individual communities are in order and connected, one human being to the next. What's the smallest community we have is our family. We would do well to make sure that family is in order. Our friends, making sure we are connected one to the other. Our chavurah, making sure we work hard to stay connected. Our synagogue is a community. Our city, our county, our state, goes on and on. You can see how it could have a lasting impact when we start small and grow out. And whether a person likes it or not, each and every one of us is a member of a community. The question on Shabbat, this Shabbat for us is, what kind of part are we going to play in making our community holy, special, embracing? The Talmud says this: welcoming a guest takes precedence over welcoming God. That if God were coming in the door and a guest were coming in the door, you greet the guest first, because that human connection is so important. But such a statement is not just about hospitality, it's about an ethos that runs through our collective communal body. Being a part of this community, this synagogue community, for example, means that one chooses to associate themselves with such values of inclusion, kindness, and warmth. Do you know a Torah scroll contains 304,805 letters? I counted each one. Each handwritten in black ink on parchment by a highly trained scribe. If a single letter is missing or damaged, the entire scroll is unkosher. You're not allowed to read from it. So too it is with each of us. We must strive to be part of a larger whole in which, when problems arise, we will be able to assist in solving that problem, because we have built a foundation of teamwork and of lifting one another up instead of tearing one another down. Dan Nichols wrote, "Each one of us must play a part. Each one of us must heed the call. Each one of us must seek the truth. Each one of us is a part of it all. Each one of us must remember the pain. Each one of us must find the joy." It was 160 years ago this year that the I'll get it. Thank you, young man. The Emancipation Proclamation was made. Lincoln played his part. It was 60 years ago this year that Martin Luther King told us about his dream. He heeded the call. What do we want people to say about our part 60 years from now or 160 years from now? We don't have to be Lincoln and we don't have to be King. We just have to be us. For each one of us is part of it all. Let's together create the Kehillah Kedoshah, a holy community. Amen.